Hello and welcome to the special NewsMobile Editor-in-Chief's live here from Washington, D.C. I am Saurabh Shukla. What a day it has been.
To have it.
The
Could
markets are all
you bring it up, Howard?
down
This
following
is our
Donald Trump, the U.S. president's tariff wars, which is raging. And now he has announced a major step forward. He's already told China, which has uh, announced a reciprocal tariff of 34% on US goods, that if China decides to go in for this reciprocal tariff, he will impose at the end of on April 9th a tariff of 50%. That's obviously going to spook a lot of markets and economic pundits. But there is some good news also inside. There are a lot of countries which are negotiating with the US government and the US president for reduction of these tariffs. India is one of the countries which is also negotiating for a bilateral trade deal. India, as you all know, that has been the US has imposed 26% tariff on Indian goods. So India is negotiating, and our sources are telling us that there may be a deal in sight. Also, countries like Taiwan, they've already announced, Vietnam, they've already announced that they will go in for a 0% tariff in order to assuage the US President Donald Trump's concerns here. For the US, EU has also announced that they will be also engaging with the US for a dialogue to make sure that they reduce their tariff. US has already announced 20% tariff on EU, and the EU is now saying that they may go in for a zero tariff regime. So, which is something which satisfies what the US president has been asking for. And let me sum it for our viewers. What is he saying? Donald Trump is a deal maker. He has been a votary for a diplomacy which is dollar to dollar. For long, in simple terms, he feels that the US has been shortchanged by friends and foes. In some cases, he says friends are the ones who have shortchanged the US more, and he wants more and more company to shift their manufacturing facilities to the US. Obviously, that's going to take time, even for the US companies like Apple, which currently has manufacturing facilities in countries like China, uh, India now. They are facing a big dilemma because they cannot uh, overnight, start manufacturing their iPhones or iMacs here in the US, and that's going to take time. A lot of pushback certainly is coming on Donald Trump. Some of the Republican senators themselves have been skeptical about his plans, but he has a strong backing from his administration for now, because they believe that this is going to be a short-term loss. The markets are doing very badly here. They've got spooked, although with the EU's announcement, there is some kind of, I would say, some hope that markets can bounce back. But Donald Trump has been saying that there will be some pain here. Also, there is a likelihood of recession coming to the US, which is obviously will be a bad news for the US economy, US consumers, and also Donald Trump's presidency. What's going to happen next, we can't predict, but certainly this new announcement by the US president that China will be subjected to 50% tariffs will lead to a new trade war of sorts. How will China react? We'll have to wait and see. But certainly, this is something the whole world will be watching out for. What are the fallouts for this? I see one of the big fallouts of the global economy thinking of new ways of dealing with the US and Donald Trump. Certainly, there are a lot of critics who believe that it will lead to new realignments, countries not trusting US in some ways. But on the other side, there are supporters of President Trump who believe that this is something which will eventually mean that the US economy can rebound in the long term, and also uh, the shortchanging of the US economy by some of its partners will end. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out. But for now, a lot of our viewers who are watching us in India, I don't see too much of an impact happening on US India trade ties. Pharmaceuticals are already out of this ambit of these tariffs. Auto sector, certainly India does not export too much of auto parts in any case. So I don't see too much of a impact happening on the US India corridor. And certainly, I see a deal that is in the works between US India. Time and again, US President Donald Trump has said that he has a great relationship with Prime Minister Modi, and he's somebody who goes by personal chemistry and personal partnerships. And I'm sure at some stage, Prime Minister of India will pick up the phone and speak to the US President Donald Trump. But do wait, we'll have to wait and watch on what's going to happen. But for now, it's going to be some amount of testing times for the global, I would say, the economic relationship, the partnership, and also global geopolitics, because this is going to change the way the world will look at multilateralism. It's a world where bilateral country to country partnership will matter. Do stay tuned to continuous coverage by News Mobile. Thank you for watching.